Hi folks, I'm Matt and welcome to My Expanded Universe, a show where I go through the entire EU in chronological order as best I know how. Folks, we are finally here in the Fate of the Jedi book series. This is a 9-part book series written by Aaron Alston, Christy Golden, and Troy Denning. Now, the first book in this series is called Outcast. But before I begin on it, I do want to say that there are going to be spoilers. Yes, once again, I must spoil things because each book, the actions and adventures that happen in them impact the next book. So if you have not read it, just wanted to let you know there will be spoilers. If you want to know what I thought about the books as a whole, I did love them. They are worth your time and it's a great read. Okay, so Outcast, written by Aaron Alston. Let's get into this. Valen Horn, the son of Corran Horn, wakes up one morning. It's going to be a great day, having breakfast with mom and dad, the whole family. And then he realizes something. They're not who they pretend to be. They're all imposters. He didn't know who they are, but they are not his mom and dad. And he flees, he runs away, much to his parents' dismay. And as he's running around, he finds out everyone has been replaced by some imposter. He's the only normal one around. Well, in actuality, Valen is going crazy. And you find that out later on because Kilgal, they take him to the temple and Kilgal has to look him over, or Silgal, I don't know how you want to pronounce that, but she's the one that's looking him over to see what's going on with him because he's thinking crazy. Now, to be honest, it fooled me too. The first time he woke up, he went, imposters, all of them. I was like, oh, they're all imposters. I was running down that crazy train. And the reason I have to kind of ruin that one is that's going to be the first case of what's going to turn out to be many cases with the Jedi going forward in this series. Now, meanwhile, if you recall when I reviewed Millennium Falcon, that Leia and Han had gotten notification that a warrant had been issued by Dala for Luke's arrest. Well, now in this book, Luke has been arrested. Basically, the actions of Jacen from the prior series, where things just got way out of hand, Dala is going to charge him and the Jedi, saying, you guys are reckless. You know, your little, Jedi turned Sith really hurt us in more ways than one. Many people died, many things, many bad things happened, things were destroyed, damages were done all around. And so she sentences Luke to 10 years of exile from Coruscant. Now, it kind of echoes in real life, right? Because when something bad happens, we don't want to blame the action of that one person. We want to blame someone else. This was how they got influenced. People have been blaming video games for violence, or rap music for violence, or flags for violence, or political factions for violence. Or TV violence, stuff like that. So everyone's trying to lay the blame on something else. So here they are just trying to lay the blame, going overboard. And because, the legacy of the Force events were upsetting to a lot of people. So Dala's doing what she thinks is right and just making a case that the Jedi are reckless. And so Luke, being Luke, kind of agrees. He's like, yeah, you know what? I probably should have foresaw that. Now, there's no way Luke could have stopped what would have happened. But the thing is, Luke feels sorry for that. And you know what? He's going to use that 10 years, in his opinion, to study and find out what happened to Jacen. Over the past 5 years, what made him turn to a Sith? Because he knew that he had been studying abroad. Okay, well, let me just retrace his steps and see where he went wrong. So what he does, he takes the Jade Shadow and he takes Ben, his son, and they go off on a journey together. Now, this is a good thing because this is a time of healing between him and Ben. Luke has been way too busy to spend a lot of personal time with Ben, especially after Mara Jade's death. So this is a chance for them to kind of bond together. So yeah, Luke doesn't, it's not necessarily a good thing, but Luke turns it into a good thing, saying, well, I'm going to spend time with my son. I can leave the Jedi Order for a little bit and rest. Now, who's he put in charge of the Jedi Order? A Jedi named Kenneth Hamner. And you're thinking, what? Who's that? Why would he do that? Yeah, I know. I thought so too. I was like, man, there's a billion other people I think I'd put in charge of the Jedi Order than this guy. You just made up this guy? Who is this guy? Well, they did that for a reason, for a story arc that's going to be determined later on toward the end of the series. But anyway, he tells Kenneth, he said, hey, do not piss off the Galactic Alliance. Let them have their way. We're in a little bit of trouble because of hot water, because of what Jason's actions were. So just be cool. Do not go to war with these people. Don't ruffle feathers. So Kenneth takes that to heart, and he starts letting the Galactic Alliance do anything and everything they want to the Jedi, meaning the Galactic Alliance wants to shadow all the Jedi. He went, okay, fine. So he allows shadows for the Jedi. The Jedi are not happy about this, by the way, either. And then a big controversial thing for Corran Horn was that he gave up Valen Horn, because Valen Horn escaped in the streets and they saw him acting crazy. So like, hey, that's a crazy Jedi. We need to freeze him in carbonite. We understand you're trying to study him, but he needs to be frozen in carbonite because he's a danger. Because I think he does escape the temple, by the way, in this book as well. So they say he's a menace. He needs to be frozen in carbonite until y'all can figure out what's going on. And so Kenneth Hamner agrees. Now, Mirax and Corran not happy about this, but they know there's really nothing they can do right now because they can't even explain what's going on with their son. So what is everyone else doing in this book? Well, Han and Leia are off on an adventure to Kessel. Lando has a mining company there, and he's having trouble with earthquakes. It's basically just a side story to keep Han and Leia busy doing something. I don't think it's that relative to the story, but they do connect. Everything connects, of course, but it's just something interesting for them to do, while Luke and Ben encounter their first group of or Jedi sect called the Borando, or the Barando. The Barando are an ancient Jedi sect that's been around for ages. In fact, during the Jedi Purge, they took their high masters and hid them deep within the core of the planet. The only problem is they still had them hiding there, and they're falsely telling them they should stay and hunker down because it's still not safe. It's been safe for a long time for these Jedi, and so, but they don't know because they're kind of isolated from the rest of the group. Well, Luke and Ben kind of they travel there, study, and then uncover their mystery and resolve the issue. It's something for them to do too. But again, this is all setting the pace for what's going to be a different type of story than what we've seen. What I mean by different is the New Jedi Order, folks, was super dark. I mean super dark. I loved it. Legacy of the Force was dark, but not as dark as New Jedi Order, but still dark. So now there is like, ooh, we need to just ease up on this darkness here, killing off, beloved characters and making everything sad and awful. I mean, things are going to be bad, but they're not as bad. This is it's just a little bit lighter feel. There's more room to breathe in a way. Like I said, there's some great scenes with Ben and Luke traveling in the Jade Shadow together. Luke can feel Mara's presence, as can Ben. And so they're kind of bonding over that. And, Mara, it would be smiling on the both of them, spending some time together. There's a lot of great parts and pieces in this where things just kind of slow down. I'm going to talk about later on in the series one of my favorite scenes, which is really nothing happens but a lunch, and it's just fantastic. It's one of my favorite scenes, I think, in the whole series. But I love these little moments of where we can breathe, even though you got to have things happening, right? Star Wars, we got to have some action happening, but there's a little bit, after what we had Jaina and Jason go through, it's time to breathe. And so that's what this series gives us, is a little bit something different in maybe one of the most deadliest threats the Jedi have ever faced. But I'll talk about that next time in another video.